All right, so we got Justin Willis re-signing with Landsberg for 2024. Justin, what's up?
What's up, Devion? How you doing, my boy?
Dude, same old stuff. Ain't nothing new. But nah, man. As always, 2 times a day gym. No, nothing at all. What you been up to though? Like, what's your time back home off season been like so far?
It's been interesting. Pretty interesting. Just been training and substitute teaching and everything like that, and just preparing for the season. And then I think for New Year's, I'm gonna visit my friends from college. So
How long you been a substitute teacher?
last year, but this is my second year doing it.
Them kids be in class want to whoop your ass, don't they?
Hey, no, I ain't gonna lie to you. Probably, bro. I probably built a lot of enemies this year, bro. You never know. Like, you could wake up one day, your mind at peace, and your worst enemy could be a 13-year-old kid named Tom or something. So you never know, bro. Kids be
but
beef, be holding the beef.
but but take me through that. Like, what was the beginning of like your teaching experience like? Because I know like teaching these kids nowadays is a little bit different. Like, what is it like teaching kids now compared to like, I don't know if you see a similarity or a difference between when you was in school to now. Like, take me through what is like teaching these kids nowadays.
So this past semester, I was a full-time sub, so I had to be there every day. So I couldn't take days off for
Yeah.
mental health breaks or
Yeah.
anything. I got to be there every day. I would say in the differences is I would just say social media impacts the way kids act a little bit more compared to how we were. Because like when we were like around our age, we had like maybe Facebook and MySpace, but no one really had that, at our age. So it's like we wasn't really impacted by social media. We didn't see like all these videos and stuff. Like it was cool, but I say like kind of like characteristics, like kind of behavior, still kind of similar to how we were. But I would say realistically, we was a little bit more respectful. I feel like our generation is a little bit more respectful to adults and everything. I feel like now kids think it's okay to try to step up to an adult and try to, see if they could test them. And I had some incidents where kids did try to test me, but I'm like, you know what, I don't get paid enough for this, so I just go to the office, bro.
That's why I said them kids be ready to whoop your ass. That's exactly why I said that. Them kids be ready to test you too. And I know you ain't the biggest, so I know they be trying to bump to you.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's exactly why they see I'm short. You know what I'm saying? They thinking, oh, he chill. He like,
uh,
we could do whatever. Like, nah, like, hey,
it ain't sweet. It ain't sweet. But nah, man, compared to your job, like your time having a job as a teacher in the States compared to Europe, like what are you more like? You love teaching compared to like playing sports. Because I know you 28. You just had a birthday like not too long ago. Like I think it was like earlier this week. You love teaching as much as you love playing. Like how do you feel about the two differences? Like your everyday life, whenever you go to school to teach and playing football, do you love them both, or is it just like a love and hate for one or the other?
uh, I say teaching it's a love and hate. I ain't gonna lie because like teaching, you get to go, you get the opportunity like to impact younger generations. So it's cool. Like building that connection with them and kind of like relating to them because you've been in them shoes before where they feel like they couldn't talk to adults about certain things or they just wanted to act a certain way. So I kind of relate to them. So like that's the love of it. The hate of it is having to be there for 8+ hours every day and you dealing with like drainage and stuff. Compared to like football, like, now it's a little bit more fun for me compared to how I was in college. Because like football overseas is you have like 2 practices a week. But pretty much throughout the whole week, you're still preparing for the game and you still preparation, but it's like more on your own schedule and your own time compared to in college. It's like, now you got to have this many hours watched before Thursday practice, or you got to wake up for this meeting and that meeting. So I'd say it's a little bit more love for Europe, so compared to like hate in a way.
Yeah, man, because I know how it is. Like going from one reality to another. You literally went from Europe to where there's so much freedom. There's so much freedom in Europe to like back home. Like through like with the mental part of it. Like how are you feeling like mental like being going from Europe to the States? Because I know it's two different worlds, honestly. But how do you feel? How are you feeling like just mentally about going from one place to another?
This year I would say it's a little bit more difficult, because like the whole before things went down the drain, it was like the whole relationship situation I was dealing with,
Yeah.
and then you coming back to America where you got to work and it's strictly like you're busy, by like I'm gonna say around like 12 hours, like say if it's like a 12 hour day, you're busy like 8 out of that 12 hour day. You know what I'm saying? Because school starts at like 8, and then I'm there it's like 3. So it's like it's more draining too because it's like you're there all day, no breaks. Where like in football, we could just work out for an hour or two, go back home at the crib, chill, and then we go to practice, and like we get paid for that day. And it's just like with school, you had to show up to work to get paid, and you're there all day, no breaks, no nothing, no quick naps or anything. Like you're there all day, and it's constantly like back to back to back. So it's like it's kind of crazy, like going from Europe with all that freedom to working on a strict schedule, like throughout for most of your day.
Switching gears to Euroball, like I said, you got a teaching job in the States and all that stuff. And you have your differences, you have your two different sides and whatnot of the reality of Europe to the US. What got you started in Europe? Like when did you start playing like and how many teams and years did you play Euroball? Because I know you're not new to you're not new to this. This is like what, your third, fourth year, going into your fourth year this year?
Yeah, going to my fourth year this season.
Yeah, so how's it going for you so far? You played in Spain, France, and Germany and Poland. Ooh, I forgot about Poland. What was it like, starting in Europe and working your way all the way up to Germany right now?
Me to play is I had a friend that was actually playing in Australia at the time, and he kind of talked me into it. And at first I was hesitant because I was like starting my coaching career, and then a death happened to someone that I went to school with. I didn't really like know her like that, but like I already seen her around campus, and kind of like after I seen that she passed away, kind of reminded me that life's too short to not chase your dreams. So I decided to try Euroball, and actually I was supposed to go to Landsberg back in 2020 before COVID hit. And then afterwards, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna keep going because I actually want to experience like life in Europe. So that's like, and then football's like the only way I can do that. So I kind of just stayed to the course, and then I got my opportunity to go to Spain, and that was a good experience. But when your first year, you're gonna learn a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
what you're willing to tolerate and what you're really not to tolerate, and then like what you need to look for in a program. And then France taught me that as well. And then after that, I kind of like learned my way through it. So I kind of like started in a way, kind of started in the mud and kind of like built my way up to where I'm at now.
Yeah, man, because like I said, I didn't know who you were until I think it was Poland. And then I saw you were, I don't know if you were under Pro Hunt. I don't know where I saw you, but I'm like, okay, they signed this dude, but then he got some Euroball experience. Like I tell Gabe this all the time. When I first saw that you were signed to Landsberg, I'm like, bro, this dude about to be so ass. I'm just honest. I'm like, damn, this dude about to be ass as hell. I don't know who this dude is. He barely got experience. But then I'll tell you, like I told you, I ain't gonna sit here and lie. Like I'm gonna tell you, like honestly, when I first saw you in practice, I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I ain't say nothing too quick because I'm like, you know what, this little pint of piss. This man, he's smart as hell. So I'm like, damn, like he's smart. Like that's one thing I did notice. Like when you first came to practice, everybody was like in awe that you weren't, making that big of an impact in practice because you just got off a flight. And that's what happens to every import that comes, to to Europe. Not everyone, but some of them. They come to Europe, get off, straight off a flight, and then go to practice. I don't know how it is anywhere else, but that's just how I was everywhere I've been. And like that whole time when I saw you in practice, we went through that whole debacle with one-on-ones and whatnot. And everybody's thought process, and it's just like, golly, your first practice in Landsberg, what were you thinking the moment you touched down and then going to practice, after you got, situated and landed? What were you thinking?
Okay, so it was funny. So actually, before I went to Landsberg, I actually dropped a video of like Batman and all this stuff, talking about I'm back and all this stuff. So I'm like, all right, I kind of gotta back up my hype. And then that first practice in 1-on-ones, dude beat me on the slant, and I'm like, oh snap! But you know how Gabe is.
Bro, Gabe was like,
Home, yeah, you better see your home. And I'm like, hey, chill, chill, bro. Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm still rusty. And then the whole practice, he come in my head, and Gabe coming at my head. Everybody else think they could come in my head. So like Gabe like, you want 'em over there? Yeah, cause we cooking y'all asses over here. And I'm like, all right. In my head, I'm like, okay. Next practice.
Bro, knowing they wasn't cooking nobody.
That next practice, I ain't like that whole week, rest of the week, right after that practice, I'm like, I ain't talking to this dude, bro. He better not say nothing to me, bro. I personally. And then I had a good practice the next one, but like that whole week, he was talking trash to me, like, yeah, finna send you home. And I'm like, bro, I don't want to hear this dude talk to me right now, bro. Like, get him away from me.
I knew for a fact you weren't like, and this ain't like to discredit any of your skills or nothing. I knew for a fact you were not gonna be on your game the first day there because you just got off the flight and we didn't, we haven't been to the gym or nothing. So I knew for a fact, but I'm pretty sure you were working out before you came. But I knew you just got off a flight, literally. So I knew it wasn't going to be the best practice. So that's how it usually is. Airports got to gradually step and make their way, adjust, get, acclimated to the football atmosphere. Because, like I said, man, some people come straight out of work. Some people come straight off the couch. And, it's crazy, but it wasn't as bad from my perspective. Like I said, it wasn't as bad as what they made it seem like it was. But Gabe did the same thing to me when I first came in 2022. He was like, "We gonna send your ass back to Poland," and I was like, "No, the hell I ain't." Because in my YouTube videos, I'm like, you hear him say this in like the very first practice vlog I had. And actually, speaking of Poland, I want you to take me back to your time in Poland because you were with the Warsaw Eagles. We both played in Poland. What was your time like in Poland?
So honestly, my time in Poland, I'm gonna be real. Like it wasn't bad. It was just the management that I was dealing with at the time. I believe now things gotten better over there. So I can't say too much about that. But like I just say management was kind of like the number one thing. But playing wise, like I had fun, but I hated the fact that we was losing. Like I don't know how to word it. It's just like it was weird. It's because it's like my first game I was playing offense, and I think it was like my first game back too after coming back from like injury, a broken leg injury that I had, and that was like my 6 month out from recovery. Like my first game, and I'm kind of nervous a little bit. But I come in there, first kickoff return game by like 5 or 10 yards. I'm like, okay, I got hit. I'm straight. The next player had like a 10-yard carry for first down. I'm like, all right, now we're gonna cook. And then after that, things just went downhill from there. And I'm getting smacked every time the snap of the ball. I had to go to quarterback. As soon as the ball is snapped in my face, running back, they throw me a swing pass. Darius Dawson picked me up and throw me. And bro, we going to halftime. I'm just sitting there like on the grass for a good 3 minutes, staring at the fans. I get up, and then we going to halftime, and I look at Meach. Do you know who Meach is?
Yeah.
Meach. I'm like, hey man, be honest with me, bro.
Yeah.
My ass
Meach.
with my confidence so much, bro. I'm like, bro, I'm trash, dude. I'm like, I don't belong here, bro. And he's like, nah, man. He said, them dudes in your face like as soon as the ball was snapped. And I'm like, I looked at film. I'm like, yeah, like I couldn't go anywhere that game. And then afterwards, like, I'm the next game, I'm going strictly on defense, and I'm staying there. And then I had a decent game against the Rebels. I had like 11 tackles that game. We still lost, but
man, you should have had more. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. You should have had more. You was trash that game.
Yeah, quit playing me now. I ain't gonna lie.
That dude's slow.
But I feel like I was like on every tackle though. But
you was the only one. You was the only one.
Back in the day, bro. We had no DC calling the plays either.
Oh man.
Cover 3, he's like, no, and I'm like,
oh man. He said we done.
Like we're done.
But nah, man, like it was like I don't know if anybody really has ever told you this. You were never as bad as what people made you seem like it was. Like I feel that was the same thing for me. Like you are who you surround yourself with. Like overall, bro, I feel like if you were to ever go to a bad team, you're gonna look bad because that's just how it is, bro. But if you really a standout player, you gonna stand out. I mean, there's only so much you can do. And there's like nothing that like anybody could take away from what you actually did with them. So I don't know, man. Like it wasn't always as bad as people think it was for you. But as for me, I feel like I felt the same way. I felt like I didn't belong in this league. That Polish league. I feel like I didn't. I feel like I was trash because you know how I am. Like, I'm really critical of myself and like I take like pride in like my craft and all that. So I feel like I'm like, am I really this bad for real? And I'm just thinking and I'm asking myself that, but the whole time a lot of people didn't understand. Like, bro, my mindset is like separated and different from like all those people. And I know for a fact your mindset is separated and different from like a lot of the people, including myself, like from like because I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like smartest defensive import I've ever played with. Like that's just being honest. And it's never gonna go back to like athleticism. I mean anybody can be as athletic, but to be a smart football player and make the plays you did for one your size, and two being in the position that you was at because you played more than just one position, and just making the plays you did crazy. And nobody can act. I said this on my last show. Nobody can discredit the work you do because you do a lot of stuff that a lot of people ain't doing, and especially imports should be doing. So this past season, how did you feel, from the beginning of the season, just emotions and mentality of the game, not outside of football, like take away all the stress. How did you feel mentally from the beginning of the season all the way to the end of the season, to the championship game?
Okay, so for me, I feel like at first I kind of had to accept the fact that I'm not the superstar, and that I'm actually surrounded by imports that are better than me. And like granted, like even though I knew y'all was better than me in like a lot of areas, I knew too there's areas that I have more strengths in compared to y'all, and y'all have more strengths in areas that I have weaknesses in. And I think once I accepted that fact that hey, like you have people around you that may be better than you, but just do
Mm-hmm.
what you can and like contribute as best as you can. I think once I got that in my mind, and then to kind of just finally like gaining confidence in myself because y'all used to tell me that like every day, like bro, you need to trust your speed more. Like you need to trust yourself to make this play. Like if you see something, like just go, like don't hesitate. And I think once I finally accepted that and started to trust myself, I think that's when my level of play started increasing. Because also too, I wanted to win, and I knew that y'all wanted to win, and I knew as soon as we was on the same page with that, I knew that the sky's the limit for us. So that was kind of like my mindset coming into it, just like learning to trust myself, and if I see something, like just react on it, like don't hesitate. And I think that helped me a lot, especially towards mid season against teams like the Munich Cowboys, Nuremberg Rams, especially against Nuremberg, both games. And then I kind of felt that a little bit more against not Augsburg, Elmberg in the championship game.
Yeah. But nah, man, like it was different. It started to become a different vibe after we lost to, I think it was who was the last one we lost to? It was Franken. After we lost to Franken, it was a different vibe because we just like, okay, now we know what we got to do, and now we know the mindset because we were talking a lot. We were talking a lot of shit in the season. Like I'm being real. Like we were talking a lot of shit. Like we was untouchable because we had the playmakers, we had the brains, we had the domestic athleticism, but we did not have the focus. Because you know how it was, at Landsberg, it's always something on game day, and it ain't nothing to take away from the domestic guys or nothing, but it was always a distraction on game days, especially on the games that we needed the most. Like when you had the what was that big game? I think it was Nuremberg at home. Yes, it was against Nuremberg at home. So the game that we needed, you had I'm talking about, this was a big stop. Because it was one play that you didn't know, I think it was a coverage of the call, and you still made a tackle for loss on number 3. That was Nuremberg. Like, take me through that moment that you was thinking there, because I mean, I don't know, like, instincts kick in fast, and sometimes a lot of people don't have that instinct to react as fast as you did. What are you thinking? You didn't have no idea what the call was. What are you doing?
So like I heard the blitz call, but I didn't listen to the strength call. I just heard the blitz. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going, because like usually the taser calls to my side. So like I already had it set in mind what I wanted to do. So I already communicated with the DM what I'm gonna do for the blitz. So the thing is, what I picked up quickly was the QB's snap count. So I realized that if he sees I'm in coverage, and man, he will look at me and will never look back. So I knew, okay, once I started getting the snap count, it was making it easier for me to blitz. And so somehow, some way, like I just hit the gap and I was there for to make that play. But it was the fact that I did his snap count, and that's how I was able to get there. Because like past games, I realized like I was close to the blitz because I wasn't against the snap count. And then once I kind of like caught on to a lot of QB snap counts, it helped me to be able to get in the backfield quicker. I'd say the only QB that I had issues with was QB because like he's so patient with the snap count. Like I hate it. It takes so long for him
Man.
to snap the ball compared
Oh
to
my
all
god.
other
Oh my
QBs.
god.
Yeah.
Bro. That was also another game I was about to ask you about. Bro. So for those that don't know, when we played New and I think it was there in like Baden-Württemberg somewhere in Germany, we had to stop the game. How many times we had to stop the game? Like what, three, 4 times at least? 3 or 4 times? Man. So we had to stop the game because we have this weather thing at Landsberg. Landsberg has money. I don't care what anybody says. Landsberg has so much money. But we had this weather alarm that kept going off. Game kept stopping. All of that. It was just the most annoying thing ever. You know, we had to stop the game so many times, but we still came out, somehow finished the game, and we started so late too. Justin, what was your thoughts going through that game? Because I'm telling you mine right now. I was so impatient and I couldn't handle it. Mentally, I was gonna break down if we stopped the game one more time. How was you feeling?
The same way. No, it was the same way because it's like my pregame routine.
So hold up, pause. You said what?
Routine. Yeah, no, don't put words in my mouth. Like, hey, chill out. It's not
Top out.
right now.
Top out.
No, so I'm so strict about my pregame routine. And so I'll listen to a certain song before every game before we walk out. You know, I listen to that song and then I find out we got like a 30-minute delay. And I'm like, man, I already like did what I did. So now I'm just, trying to like run around like, man, when are we gonna play? And then like honestly though, that second time the game stopped, that helped us because hey, was driving on us, bro. They moving the ball on us. They had momentum. And if that thing never run, bro, I think it would have been a completely different game. But honestly, that saved us. But like, I was getting impatient too because I'm like, I'm just trying to get this game over with. Because like, I think by the time we left, it was like 11 or so.
Bro, I'm talking about 11 o'clock, drunk off some hellish beer. Man, it was crazy. Like, man, that game felt like a nightmare. Because I felt like that was the only time, and I don't know how you felt about this, but it felt like it was the only time where we really had to work and win a championship. Like, that's the first time I ever felt like that in my life. Like, it felt like it was, for me, God was saying, if you're going to win this championship this year, you got to have to really fight for it to earn it. Because, bro, that was a nightmare. And I never, ever want to deal with that again. Take me through, like, the championship game of Amberg. So from start to finish, we had some adversity there too. That field was god awful. What were you thinking from the start, kickoff, to the hoist of the trophy?
The start was, oh man, I fumbled the ball because like when that ball bounced over my head, I was like, snap, it's gonna be one of those games for me. And I'm like, dang. But once we kind of like got in the groove of things, like I'm gonna be honest, after they got up on us, I think like 13-0. I'm like, they finna run out of energy. Like all teams do, like they get up on us, they gonna run out of energy.
You literally flipped the field, and nobody ever gave you credit for that. You flipped the field, and then who was it? Patrick scored. Crazy. That was a crazy play. Nobody talks about at all. But it's 2024. Next year is 2024. You're going back to Landsberg. Your mentality going into Landsberg has to be what? What is your Landsberg and what is your motive going in for next season?
To kind of continue to, in a way, to prove myself that I do belong and I can compete.
Hold on. What you mean to prove yourself to who?
Myself.
Okay, that's what I thought.
For me, I know for a fact it's gonna be so weird relocating and not having you or Bryant, to piss off or like, just clown with all the time. Cause it's like, golly, cause it was a different bond. Like, having me, you, Bryant, and who was it? Brandon, bro. It was weird how we just clicked like that. What's your goal for next season?
Just to continue to win games and build off of last year's momentum. I know this year's gonna be completely different scene, completely different people. I'm not really sure who's coming back, who's staying, so it's gonna be different. But I'm excited for the challenge, and I feel like this year I'm gonna be more of a different role. Like last year, you was more of the leadership on the defense, and I kind of just like leaned on you. Now this year, I feel like I kind of have to step in your shoes a little bit more. But hopefully I kind of figured that out pretty quick and everything. But you know me, like we've been in touch pretty much since the season ended, so I know like if anything, I would just talk to you about stuff. So
Yeah, and I totally have confidence y'all will do y'all's thing this year, man. Y'all got Brad Jones as quarterback. Justin, man, it was a pleasure talking to you again. As always, we always stay in touch, so it ain't nothing new. But what's your YouTube channel? Because you got a YouTube channel and you be having the most legitimate behind the scenes stuff, you know, of overseas. What is your YouTube channel?
J Willie TV.
J Willie TV. All right. So I don't know when he gonna post his next vlog, but tap in with him, stay in touch, and you don't want to miss 2024 season with him and Landsberg, I promise. As for me, it's the same thing for me. You know, it's gonna be different locations, but somehow I'm gonna try to link up as always. So Justin, thank you for coming on. We're gonna stay in touch. Keep us updated, and again, YouTube is J Willie TV. Go subscribe.